memorial. These first group of work, as you're gonna see some examples here, are the portraits that have been created to tributes to the heroes and the martyrs of women life freedom movement. These artworks not only preserve the movement culturally, but elevate fallen heroes to iconic status, symbolizing the enduring spirit of the cause and inspiring continued determination. As you can see, I put just some examples of so many artworks that have been created in the honor of people that been died or injured or imprisoned in the light of women life freedom movement. You may have seen some of them. Some of them became an icon for this movement. As you can see, for example, Kian was just a child that been shot during the women life freedom movements, and the others are again, you may see them. Nikar Shakarami, she again became one of the icons of the movement. She was a really brave teenage girl that she went to the streets to the protest, and a few days later, her family found out that she was dead. So again, here are some other examples of people that have been killed or injured, or for example, as you see, the artwork that I have done, I wanted to celebrate those people that became the real hero of Iranian people. For example, Elahe Mohammadi and Nilufar Hamidi, two journalists that have been in prison for so many long time, more than a year, just to covering the news about Mahsa Amini's death, and after that the funeral. And so they were just in prison because of doing their jobs, doing their jobs correctly, basically. But here again, I just wanted to celebrate them and to acknowledge what they've done for this movement. And the second category of the artwork that I'm going to show you are those that female visual artists use their visual language to reinterpret and recreate iconic photos and moments of the women life freedom protest. So there were many viral photos coming from Iran, many of them anonymously because of safety and security reasons. But artists use their imagination just to recreate these photos. So just to add another level to them. These imaginative efforts contributed to the ongoing story of the revolution, providing fresh perspective and injecting the movement with new insights and emotional resonance. By breathing new life into pivotal moments, these artists emphasize the evolution and spirit of those involved, creating a dynamic interplay between the past and present in the visual language. As you can see in this picture, the artwork that I created, it was after a viral photo coming from Mahabad, a Kurdish town in Iran, that the women were resisting and they were in protest. They were showing V as a sign of victory, and I recreated the photo with hopeful colors, with a hopeful palette, just to show the resistance and just to give hope to the others to continue the resistance and resilience. And the other image that is done brilliantly by Mansoure Baghgaroi, she's an artist living in Iran. She recreated a viral photo coming from a woman that was shot with this metal pallets. There were actually many photos coming from Iran that people been injured with these metal pallets, and they were showing their bodies with these pallets still in their skin. So Mansoura here actually used actual hair. She collected hair from her friends and family and created this body. And the metal palettes here are recreated with mirrors, so you can see yourself in this palette. So as you see, there is another level adding to this, so the audience everywhere around the world can see and make a connection, make an emotional connection with these. These other examples, as you see, the famous artwork by Parsu Furuhar. She's a great artist. She's internationally well known, and she recreated these butterflies forms, but with different shapes and motifs. And here, the one is the one that women are holding the flag. So she was trying to show that that women were in the front line of the movement, the woman life freedom movement. And the artwork you see on the other side is I created it after receiving the news about political executions happening in Iran. There were people, mainly men, being executed after this woman life freedom movement. They were after being active in the protest, and many of them actually, if you go through their cases, you see that they shouldn't be in prison even to be executed. But unfortunately, that happened in Iran. And I here borrowed this great wave by a famous Japanese artist to show that this tsunami of executions is threatening actually freedom of Iran. And I used Azadi, which means Freedom Tower of Iran, that is based in Tehran, to show this that the executions are threatening the freedom in Iran that was happening in Iran. So, and these are another examples of this category. As I'm sure you know, the act of cutting hair become the most symbolic act of this movement. And you see that many Iranian and non-Iranian people and celebrities joined in this act to show their solidarity with Iranian women. So, cutting the hair and the scissors become the symbols for this movement. And many artists use again these symbols to show this symbolic act and to again elevate and add another level to this act. So as you can see, for example, Marjan Wafayan used the symbol of scissors as many women that are shouting and they are trying to get their freedom back. And I chose to show this brave and defiant woman that is holding some strands of hair in her hand, and it was for the cover of the Guardian Weekly. And as you can see, the word says rebellion. So it was an a specific issue about how women and girls of Iran face down the Iranian regime. So again, yes, this symbolic act become really famous, and I think this the face with some strands in the hair forever is gonna be the symbol of woman life freedom movement. The last category of the works that I'm going to talk about delve into how female visual artists acted as motivators with the Iranian Revolution. Through their art, artists crafted pieces that ignite the sense of empowerment and motivation among the audience. These artworks served as a spark for inspiration, using visual language to energize individuals within and beyond the border of the Iran. These pieces not only inspire the present generation, but also serve as encouragement for future activists, emphasizing the transformative power of art in mobilizing and sustaining a movement. So here are some examples. As you can see, the resilience and resisting was really important. So artists were trying to emphasize on that, and social media actually really played an important role in the movement. So I think artists use it very greatly just to show how they can be part of this movement, and in my opinion, a great and important role of the movement, because they amplify the voice of people with their art. So here, as I said, the art is in celebration of resilience and to show that if we're still together, we can be brave, and we are braver than ever. So these positive messages to the world. And in this another category, there were many arts that were to encourage, that were created to encourage unity and being together and how we can coexist together. And in the work that you can see I created, I was trying to show that if we stand side by side, we can see that bright blue future that in the light of women life freedom movement, we are all free and we are all together. So yeah, these were three main categories of the artworks. There were many other artworks, and not just visual artworks. As you know, there were many songs, and that, for example, Baraye become the unofficial anthem of movement, and other songs as well. So many forms of art being the part of this movement. But here I just focus on the visual art, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you so much, everyone.
Roshan for the excellent talk. I think we have a few minutes for maybe a few questions. If anyone has a question on the audience. Anybody? Sure.
Hello, Roshan, thank you for your presentation. As an art educator, I was one of the people who who were sharing your illustrations on my Facebook and on my Instagram. And surprisingly, I found that many of my friends were doing that, even other pictures that you showed from the other artists. So my question is, when you were making those artworks, did you think that lots of people might be affected with them or sharing them? Because for me, it was more effective than words. And I really like that this way to share it rather than, those slogans and, the words that the politic people were using it. So how was the feedback that you, get, and what was your feeling?
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for sharing the artworks. I guess at the beginning we never thought that they're gonna go this viral and everyone are gonna share them, because as you said, I think the thing with visual art is that it can speak louder than words, because there is no language barrier and there are no interpretation needed. So I think at the time of the women life freedom movement, we many people just had social media to say what they're going to say, because many people were afraid to go on the streets, or many people like us were abroad, that we couldn't go to the protests in Iran. So I think in the social media we try to be active and engage with audiences, not just Iranian but non-Iranian, to magnify and amplify the voices of Iranian people. So I think at the beginning I didn't make the works to be shared, but after a while I see, okay, no, it's gonna actually help. So I think yeah, it was overwhelming actually, to be honest, but I think that's the power of art, and that's how not just me, many artists chose this their art as their weapon. So to as I said, just to amplify the voices of people and to reflect what was happening in Iran. So I guess, yeah, I believe the art played an important role in this movement, because for the previous movements we had artists that's sharing their voice, but this time many artists joined, and there were many women artists this time. Many people joined anonymously, especially if they were living in Iran, because of social, security and safety reasons. But still, there were many artworks created, and we wanted just to talk louder than words, and I hope that we were successful. So thank you so much for sharing. It doesn't mean anything if people like you didn't share it. So yeah, I think that was like a collaboration with the artists and audience.
Thank you. Do we have time for one more question? Okay.
As far as I understand, art has been part of Iranian history since a long, long time. It has been used not only for beauty and all, but also for freedom movement. Art is also, repression of art is also a strategy by oppressors, as we see in the current context, how Palestinian art is really prevented being displayed in many, many European countries as well as in our own country. So my question is, how is this movement of using art as a passion for freedom and as a road to freedom, how the history of Iranian history has inspired the modern activities regarding the art?
Thank you so much for your question. Yeah, as you said, art has been always a part of Iranian culture and Persian culture. And there are many examples of, using art as a weapon and as a tool to I don't want to say shout, but to speak loudly about what people have been going through. So I guess as you can see in many artworks of that people have been created, they use some motifs and patterns from the art that we had before, and it is a continuous actually act. So it wasn't for the first time for this movement. It was, as I said, in the previous movements, even, for example, in the Islamic Revolution that happened in Iran, many artists were trying, just to, at the time, they were thinking that they're doing a good work. So, but at that time, there were more men artists, I had to say. So, but in the recent movements, more women artists has joined, and they wanted to, just to use visual languages and, motifs to talk about. And you see, censorship, I think, has always been part of what Iranian, not rulers, maybe even the kings, or now specifically after the Islamic Revolution, censorship was part of, ruling the country. So I think always artists were trying to use the language of art to speak with, with some like hidden words or hidden messages in the visual art. So I think that is the continuous work that many artists have been doing in generations, and this generation is continuing to do that. So I guess, yeah, it's a great way, just to talk without words, and I think it's sometimes it's easier to speak without going, through the censorship that is happening. Although, as I said, many artists decided to go anonymously because still there were, safety and security issues. Many artists were taken to investigation, and they had to say that, okay, we are not going to create any more artworks. Some artists even have been in prison for this. But I think still creating art is a great way, just to be a bit, you have that freedom of speak even with in the shadow of censorship. So yeah, I guess if I answer your question correctly, I think that's a great way again, just to even, for example, as you said, in these days that unfortunately Palestinian art is many governments have decided to censor them. I think is still people are trying to, just they're using social media, just to spread the word. So I think art has always been as a great tool in this kind of movement, not just creating the beauty, as you say.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Roshi-jan, for joining us. We are all admirers of your work, and we are looking forward to hosting you in person one day here in Saskatoon. Yeah, you're more than welcome to stay with us as long as you can.
Many thanks. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed being with you, even virtually. So as you said, I'm in London. It's my evening. Unfortunately, I can't stay with you but later, but I hope one day in person we can all meet.
Yes, we look
Thank you so
forward to
much.
that. Thank you. Take care.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.